Hello and welcome to Reviews with Ryan, and today on the channel I'm going to be talking about the brand new kids animation film called The Bad Guys. This film was directed by Piranha, and this is his directorial debut. He's done some short films, and he's also been an animator for Shrek Forever After, Kung Fu Panda, and Monsters vs. Aliens. And I'd like to ask, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and comment below your thoughts on The Bad Guys, and also turn on the notification bell so you never miss any videos that I make, as I do movie reviews, unboxing, and Blu-ray hauls as well. And now without further ado, let's get into my thoughts on this brand new kids film. Several reformed yet misunderstood criminal animals attempt to become good, with some disastrous results along the way. The film stars Sam Rockwell, Mark Maron, Awkwafina, Craig Robinson, Anthony Ramos, Richard Ayoade, and Zazie Beetz. So DreamWorks animation is kind of hit or miss for me. They've made my favorite film like Shrek, and that whole franchise I've always really loved. But last year they really kind of struck out for me. I thought The Boss Baby 2 was just kind of an average movie. So I was just really hoping going in The Bad Guys that we would actually get a film that was a little bit better than the product that they've been having lately. And I have to say that I really did enjoy this film. You first off have these bad guys that are robbing and stealing, and they live in this animalistic world. But you have these bad guys. You have Sam Rockwell playing the wolf, and he is kind of the mastermind of the plans. And then you have Mark Maron. He is the snake. He can shed his skin and do different disguises, and he's most of the most selfish ones, I think, out of all the characters. Then you have Awkwafina. She is a tarantula. She's very tech savvy. It can help with anything tech related. And then you have the shark, played by Craig Robinson. He is really good at doing different distractions and different disguises. He's probably the funniest character in this movie for me. And then you have the Piranha, played by Anthony Ramos. He can do different things, you know, going through toilets because he's a fish, and going through different sewers and such. And then he also farts when he gets really nervous. So I thought that was really funny. Of course, there's those kinds of fart jokes in here, which I didn't really think that it was overused. Sometimes in kid movies they use farting jokes and it's just a little bit too much, but I didn't really think that that was too much for this movie. And really, they're doing all these different robberies, and there is one robbery that they go to and they end up getting caught, and then the mayor of the city, she is played by a fox, played by Zazie Beetz. She pretty much wants them to be locked up. And then you have this professor, played by Richard Ayoade. He basically says that he can make them good, and he takes them back to his place, and he tries to make these characters good. And then you do see flashes throughout the film with the wolf. He ends up rescuing this cat in a really cute scene for kids that will really love it. And then when he rescues this cat, his tail starts wagging and he gets these good vibe feelings. And that's really what this movie is about. It's really about bad guys trying to turn good. And that is the centralized message of this film. Just having bad guys trying to be good and trying to be better citizens in this animal world. And then you also have not judging a book by its cover. It really pokes fun of that message throughout the film, and I like that they had a lot of different jokes in here. I thought that there was a lot of funny moments in this film. The shark is definitely my favorite character in this, as he does a little funny types of gags in this. You see in the trailer where he is saying that he's going to have a baby and the security guards should abandon their posts. That is a really funny scene. And he has another funny scene where he goes into this guinea pig lab and he tells him that he's his father, and the guy believes him. And I thought that was really funny. And I think the kids will really like this film. I think it has a really good centralized message that pretty much any kid can get behind, and any adults can really get behind as well. And I think that there is some funny kid jokes here, and then there is also some adult jokes as well, and they do a pretty good job of balancing it out. And then you also have the animation style in this, which is really good. I feel like this style of animation is a lot more unique to this film. It just looks really nice on the screen. It's not really bright colors, but the way that it is kind of thrown out on the screen, it really looks really nice, and it has some vibes of like the Spider-Man animated kind of version to me in certain parts. It's not that wacky and that extreme, but it looks really nice on screen, and I think that the kids will really identify with the characters in this and really just identify on what this film is trying to accomplish. And then as far as negatives go for this film, I have three. They're really not that big or really going to ruin this film. But first off, I thought that the joke that they have in this with this moon and they compare it to a butt, they really have that a lot throughout the film, and it's a little bit overdone in my opinion. And then also the film is kind of predictable. I really predicted what was going to happen, especially who this villain that is involved in these bad guys. I really did know exactly what was going to happen, and it's not that it really takes away that much from a film because it is a kid's film, but I still enjoyed the film regardless of that predictability and the certain aspects that I was going to guess. But then there was a certain aspects that I didn't really guess either, so it kind of evens itself out there. And then the last negative that I really have to say about this film, and it's really minor because it doesn't really play a huge factor, but I just didn't really understand in the beginning of the film why we have these animals, why the people and humans are just afraid of these animals, and then they really aren't shown throughout the entire film. It's just a animal world at that point. I didn't really understand why they had that in the beginning of the film. They could have just not had that and that would have been fine. So yes, it's a little bit nitpicky, but it doesn't really affect the film, but I just didn't really understand that, and I would put that in the classification of negatives for me. And as far as the score for this film, I'm going to give a score of this film a 4 out of 5. It is based on a book, and I don't know how accurate it is to the book, or if there's a series of books. I'm not really sure. I never read any of these books or whatever, how many books are involved in this series. But I will say that I really enjoyed this film. I think kids will really like this film. There's a lot of good lessons to be learned. And then there is also a lesson in this film also that you should just not think always about yourself and think of others as well. And I did like that message as well because that's a good message to really teach children. And I really thought they did a really good job of really trying to get these different lessons out to kids and get the meaning of what this movie was really about. So those are my thoughts on The Bad Guys. What did you think of this film? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What did you guys think about it? Drop your comments and let me know what you thought about this film. And thank you guys for tuning into this review, and I'll see you guys on my next one.